Hello and welcome to Mirror Talk. We have moments where we just have to pause. Just pause and take a break and reflect on life. Remember, you are strong, you are enough, you are capable, you are blessed, and you are loved. Your moment of greatness starts now. Today's guest is passionate about empowering others with the tools, systems, information, and inspiration to level up and optimize their lives. She's a lifestyle alchemist, holistic health practitioner, and wellness business coach. She hosts a podcast called Realistic Hacking for high achievers, leaders, coaches, entrepreneurs, game changers, and truth seekers. How are you doing today, Samantha?
I am feeling amazing. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a great blessing, and I'm looking forward to everything I'm going to learn from you today. I was blessed to come across your wonderful podcast, which teaches about peak performance. It teaches about natural medicine and holistic health. So my first question is can you tell me about this wonderful realistic hacking podcast of yours, and what is holistic health for a learner like me?
Yeah, the reality hacking podcast is, I really designed it to help people realize and be empowered to be their own creators, essentially, to co-create their own reality, to be empowered to take care of their mental health, their physical health, their emotional health, and to design and architect the life of their dreams. And so it goes through, like you had said, peak performance. It goes through emotional well-being. It goes through language hacking to change your world based on the words that you speak. It goes through stuff about community and fasting and natural medicine. And where I'm a holistic health practitioner, it really looks at the person from the whole perspective. So not just, there's something wrong with your blood. Oh, there's just something wrong with your thyroid. We need to cut that out. There's something wrong with your hair. We need a medication for that. There's, looking at singular, but it's really whole life focused, understanding the person from the inside out and really understanding the root cause of what's happening to people so that we can provide them with a lifestyle that allows them to heal and thrive, not just a Band-Aid solution that they stick on and have to stick on every single day for the rest of their life and never really get better.
Yes, that's beautiful. And this made me remember a video I saw on your website where you said your passion is to get to create a roadmap, for example, a roadmap that helps people to go from being sick to being healthy, and not just looking for a solution for a particular disease, but everything as a whole, from your mind to your body to your soul. And I find that very amazing.
Yeah, with the roadmap, a lot of people think, okay, well, I have cancer. What do I do? I need to just blast myself with chemotherapy, or I have anxiety. I just need a drug. I have this. I just need a this solution. But what we're realizing and what people are realizing is, no, it's the way you do anything in your life is the way you do everything. And we need to look at your stress. We need to look at your relationships. We need to look at your environment, internal and external, and helping people shift their patterns and their habits in their life, outside and inside, step by step, in a way that is smooth and systematic, so it's not overwhelming for people, but really, giving them that pathway, how to go from sick and stressed, diseased and depressed, to healthy, happy, free, and fulfilled.
And it's also very wonderful that you have a personal experience with this, right? On your blog, you SamanthaLotus.com, you shared your personal experience that was your scariest and pivot experience when you almost died at the age of 26. And this led you to, come on this path. Can you share this story a little bit with us and tell us how it led you to this path of self-development?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. I feel like throughout my life, I went through a lot of challenges, a lot of health challenges, both physical and emotional. I came from a home that was a little dysfunctional with both my parents, my stepfather, a lot of depression, alcoholism, I would say probably emotional abuse. And I was just sick a lot as a child, and constantly on antibiotics, constantly, in the hospital or taking some other kind of medication. I didn't grow up eating healthy food. I didn't grow up learning how to mediate my stress. And so over the years, my body just started breaking down slowly but surely, system by system. So at age 20, I lost my menstrual cycle. And then my hair started to fall out in clumps. And then my digestion stopped working. And then I started getting recurring infections in everywhere. In my throat, I had strep infection constantly. I would have chronic yeast infections. I was getting digestive infections. And then I had an infection that went systemic into my bloodstream. I was having panic attacks. I was fainting, low blood pressure. And yeah, at 26, one day I found myself in my apartment. I think I pretty much fainted, found myself on the floor, felt so bad. I had to lay in bed, and it felt like lightning was being struck all throughout my body, starting in my liver, like in the area of my liver. And it was just shooting, stabbing pains all throughout. My breathing was so slow. I was so cold. I was shaking. And I realized that I could be dying in this moment. And that's what it felt like. And I had this really strange out of body type of experience where I feel like I met my higher self, and I was offered the opportunity to either live or to die, kind of like which option. And I got to see and meet myself in that moment and see that the way that I was living my life was not conducive to actually living. And my body was shutting down because I was so just overwhelmed and burdened with the stress and the anxiety and the pain and the anger and the resentment that I hadn't dealt with, that my body couldn't handle it anymore. And I was forced to either make massive changes in my life, or I could have died. And that was the thing, that was the occurrence that really shook me awake and really catalyzed a massive transformation for me.
Yes. Wow, that's great. And that's one thing I learned from you, actually, because recently, if I have an headache or something, I'm feeling some pain, instead of taking the medicine, I ask myself, what kind of stress am I going through? Am I thinking about something so much? Instead of just popping the medicine straight, I just think about that, because it's from what I've learned from you, is like it could come from the mind, for example. It could come from my thoughts, the pains of the body.
Yeah, one of the four mothers of metaphysics and spirituality and healing. Her name is Louise Hay, and she passed away a few years ago. But she was a dear mentor and teacher of mine, and she wrote a book called "You Can Heal Your Life," and also "You Can Heal Your Body." And she did years and years and years of study with thousands of patients and people, and she paired the emotional pain with the physical pain. And so things like when your ankles are constantly hurting, well, it's a fear of moving forward. When, you have a lot of acne, well, that could be self-resentment. When you're having, like lung congesting constantly, lung issues, that's grief that's held in the lungs. And she related these spiritual or emotional ailments with the physical. And her work really transformed my life and my work, because over the last 10, 12 years of practicing in natural medicine, I got to see all of my clients, wow, it's never just a physical thing. It's always an emotional or a spiritual thing that's manifesting in the body.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your story now? Like when you got to that stage when you were like depleted, when you were sick and down, how did you go from that point now to, being who you are today, being this Samantha Lotus today?
Yeah, it took me, that time was really hard for me. I was very alone. It took me a lot of deep inner work of really looking at my life, radically, honestly looking at my life and asking, well, what is not working? And I just had to go through and see all of the ways that I was abandoning myself, abusing myself, neglecting myself, all of the alcohol, the eating disorders, the unhealthy relationships, the anger, like not fulfilling my purpose, all of the negative thoughts that I was having. Like I just had to list out and be really honest with everything in my life that was toxifying me. And one by one, I just made commitments to changing. I'm going to change the way I eat, change the way I treat my body, change the way I relate to men and my family and other people. And I just started working on it religiously.
Mm.
Luckily, at that time, I had already had my degree in psychology. I was already studying nutrition and holistic medicine. And I really made a commitment to be the best person that I could be and to share everything that I was learning about natural healing as I was going through it to the world. Because where was this information? Nobody helped me. I felt like it was so hard for me to find this. And the doctors didn't tell me, and my therapist didn't tell me, my family and my friends. And I had to search endlessly to find this information. And I wanted to make that more widespread for people and accessible for people who truly want to do the healing work.
Yes, and that's very great because now you've created like tools, you've created systems to empower people, to ensure that people, move from this down state, from this sick, depressed, sad state to being healthy, being happy, and being free. So, can you tell us a little bit about these tools and systems that you work with?
Yeah. So one of the tools I would say, well, first there's different categories, right? Like our body heals in the opposite order of that. It gets sick. So we often get sick first, like a spiritual sickness, and then it's a mental, and then it goes emotional, and then it becomes physical. So often to heal, we have to work on all of the different parts. And so one of the systems I have it's called Address, and it's Address Your Health. And Address is an acronym. So the acronym, it stands for A is attitude and mindset. We need to work on the way that you're thinking and the way that you're seeing yourself in the world. The brain really does control so much. So we need to get that right. And then the second one, D, is for desire and drive. We need to have the desire to be the best person we can. We need to have the drive and the commitment to healing and to making the positive changes. The next D is diet and detoxification. We are so burdened by all of this fake food and all of the chemicals and the additives and the preservatives and the GMOs and the pollution. And there's so much that we really need to treat our bodies like temples, detoxify the toxins, and then fill up this vessel with healthy, nourishing, delicious foods. So then after that, R is rest and rejuvenation. It's so important for us to focus on the nervous system and to bring us into a state of parasympathetic where we can rest and digest and heal, because we're conditioned to live in these hyper-inflated chronic stress states where we're in our sympathetic. So after rest and rejuvenation, we go exercise and oxygenation for E. And moving your body is so crucial to health. And I know everyone hears it, but not many people do it. Even just going for walks or yoga, swimming, dancing, even if you just dance in your kitchen for half an hour each day, moving your body, getting your lymphatic system flowing, increasing endorphins, getting your brain chemicals stimulated. So many people have stress and anxiety and depression. And if they would just dance half an hour a day, every day, it would completely go away. Or for most people.
Yeah.
So, and then breathing. Most people are not breathing properly. So breathing, oxygenating the lungs, the heart, bringing in life force through the body. And then S for the S for address is supplementation and sleep. So I love using natural medicines. I love using herbs and essential oils. And so having supplementation in your life, and then sleep is, most people aren't sleeping properly. And if you're not sleeping properly, you're not living properly. And then the final S as a little bonus would be soul and support. I feel that having a connection with your soul and your purpose, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, and having support. So whether it be a coach, a therapist that you trust, friends, a community, that's really what you need. And so this address framework helps people with the different steps and pillars to really being holistically healthy.
Wow. I think there are two points that stood up to me, like and that's D for diet and S for sleep. Those are like two major major things that I personally have to work on, like sleeping right and also eating the right kind of food and taking the right kind of medicine. And that brings me to plant medicine. You're a specialist with plant medicine as an alternative means of healing for the body, spirit, and mind. Can you educate me on this? What is plant medicine? Why should I take plant medicine?
Yes. Well, the medicine that you get from pharmaceuticals are often derived from something natural originally, but then there's a whole bunch of chemicals and fake synthesized stuff added to it, where nature is perfect. God didn't make mistakes, and Mother Nature didn't make mistakes. And just like we breathe the oxygen from trees to fuel our lungs, we eat the food from the earth to fuel our bodies. Well, the medicine from the earth heals. So working with, herbal medicine, essential oils, or we can even get into the world of psychedelic medicines or other kind of plant medicines. They have specific chemistry. They're nature's panacea, the soul of nature, that heals our body at a cellular level. So something like milk thistle, say milk thistle is a plant, and it's amazing at cleaning the liver. So many people that have fatty liver syndrome or that are alcoholics, well, if they were to just supplement with milk thistle or burdock or yarrow or some of these herbs that are really wonderful for the liver, they would have this gentle detoxification. If people were to use lavender oil for their stress and anxiety, lavender, the main chemical constituent is called linalool. And when you breathe this lavender, you're breathing it in right into your brain, into your limbic system. And then in your limbic system, it's producing new neurochemicals. It's producing healthy, happy hormones that are being sent throughout your body that help to regulate and calm the body, because lavender is an adaptogen. And so it works on a biological level, where instead, most people that have anxiety or stress go and take Paxil, lorazepam, all of these chemicals that are SSRIs, which are serotonin blockers, and it messes with the brain chemicals and it makes your brain weak. Where natural medicines from the earth strengthen the organs instead of doing some kind of like false mechanism that is so not natural for your body. Yeah. One of the main things I'll say here too is, our bodies really are perfect, but they do need what nourishes them. Right. And so when we're healing, we want to think, what can support my body rather than suppress something in my body? And this is where I have an issue with Western medicine, is that they're so focused on suppressing, shutting down, killing, bombing the thing, cutting out the thing. But we don't need to be bombing our bodies or radiating our bodies or cutting out organs. We just need to be removing the bacteria, the pathogens, the virus, and the unhealthy cells, if we're talking cancer, and then feeding the cells true nourishment, which again is, oxygen, it's pure water, it's minerals, it's vitamins, it's these natural chemicals that work on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical bodies.
One thing I've taken from this is lavender oil. I have to look into making use of lavender oil for myself to see how it can help me, become a better person or relieve me of stress. Yeah.
I'd love to help you with that. For stress, lavender is really, really helpful. Also citrus oils, like the smell of a fresh orange or fresh squeezed lemon is just so uplifting. It's like it's kind of this bright feeling. Yes. Well, when you breathe in citrus oils, when you breathe in lemon, lime, or wild orange, it actually really boosts your mood. It increases the happy hormones in your mood, and it just awakens you and it uplifts you. So breathing them in or diffusing them in your home is a really simple and easy way to be adding to the positive feelings that you're having.
So it's a good idea to buy like diffusers and put some oil into it, and maybe some candles with some citrus aromas or something like that.
So I'm against most candles because they're fake smells. They're synthetic. Okay. And we're just burning chemicals. So I do use diffusers, and I make sure that my essential oils are pure and therapeutic grade. So many essential oils, unfortunately, are synthetic and adulterated. So meaning that they're fake. And when we're breathing in fake oils, it's not having the same positive benefit on our health. It can actually have a negative benefit. So I only use doTERRA's essential oils because they are medicinal grade, and they're in all sorts of hospitals and clinics all across North America and even Europe now. And so it's really important when you're taking supplements, oils, herbs, that you're using really top quality products, so that you're actually getting the benefit and not wasting your money or doing something that could be actually negative have negative implications for you.
I think I've seen some of these pictures on your Instagram page. I think I'm going to put a link to your Instagram page in the show notes of this episode so that everyone can check I think you have it in your highlights or something on your Instagram page. And
yes.
Yeah, I will also go back to your Instagram page and check it and maybe order the products for myself too.
Beautiful. Well, I'd love to help you choose the right oils for you.
In your blog and your posts, you have these suggestions that you make for products that one can buy. I find that very helpful and very useful.
Yeah, even things like little healthy tricks like coffee. Most people are drinking really low grade coffee with cream or milk and a bunch of sugar. And coffee is actually such a beautiful medicine. However, regular low grade coffee has so much pesticides, so many sprays and toxins and mold particles. And it's actually causing people to have way more anxiety. It's doing damage to their adrenal glands, which modulates stress. And it's making them not able to sleep properly, not able to regulate their moods or their energy levels. And so even switching to something healthy like Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee, they have medicinal high quality coffees or bulletproof coffees or organic, any, local roastery that does organic coffee. It's important because one, you're getting the best quality, you're not drinking pesticides and mold and toxins, and then you're also supporting these coffee farmers and helping them get paid a fair wage instead of being in slave labor like most coffee trade or chocolate trade. So really, if you take anything from this podcast, the things you put in your body, make sure that they're actually medicine and they're medicinal quality.
Yes. And sorry, just to digress a little bit. So if I walk into a supermarket, for example, and I want to buy coffee, what should I pay notes or what should I take note of while buying the coffee? What should I read on the covering before buying it?
Yeah. So it depends on what kind of grocery store. Not all grocery stores have organic options. However, more and more are. I normally do all my grocery shopping at either farmers markets or organic stores, like maybe a Whole Foods market or like your little local, bio store. Yeah. And then all of them, if it's at an organic store, they will be organic. But if you are going to a good grocery store, you want to look for either organic or fair trade or pesticide free. Because those are the things that, or like rainforest safe, for some chocolates and things like that. It'll say on it that that the quality is different. So you can normally see, but most of the time, if it says, it would say on the back. Normally they share some of their story on the back so that you can see.
Okay. Then I'll pay note to that, as in I'll pay attention to that next time I'm going out to shop. So talking about going out to shop and everything, in this period of lockdown restrictions with COVID and everything, a lot of people are going through, sickness, stress, depression because of the uncertainty of the whole restrictions that we have. So, how do you advise people to overcome this adversity? People are losing their businesses, people are losing their source of income. How do people overcome this adversity?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I have so much compassion for people that are going through really hard times and losing their business. I can only imagine just how challenging that is, especially if you have a family. And so first, just really, I want to acknowledge everyone for going through and growing through these hard times. Like really having compassion with yourself is so important. Being gentle on yourself is so important. And then, being productive and taking your life into your own hands, I would say maybe take this time to become autonomous in the way you make money. Maybe start a business, or think of cool ways that you can generate income. There's a billion ways online that you can do that. Maybe take the time, if you have some free time, to focus on your passions or on hobbies or learning new things. Being productive and doing things that stimulate you, maybe learning how to cook, or if you can, starting to jog outside or get a puppy, and anything that makes you feel good in this time is really important. Having a social network, so phoning a friend, having Zoom calls, having maybe even a coach or somebody that can support you is also really, really powerful. And then just the simple things, like if you can only do the simple things, I would say have a morning routine. So do not get on your phone the first thing in the morning. It shows that it causes so much anxiety and depression. So morning, wake up, have a nice glass of water, maybe some lemon, a little drop of lemon oil, do some stretches, set intentions, do meditation, move your body a little bit, and then eat a healthy breakfast. Starting your day off with a good, healthy breakfast. If you're vegan, maybe have a vegan smoothie bowl, have some nuts and seeds, some, organic protein powder. If you're not vegan, maybe have some like mixed eggs, some veggies, avocado, some kimchi, and then get a workout in if you can. If you're just sitting around, make this the time where you get the most fit you've ever been, or make this the time that you write that book, or you start that business, or you learn tantric practices with your partner, whatever it is. Make the intention to come out of COVID a better person than you were going into it.
Yeah, that's good. Setting goals for yourself and intentions, as you said. That's very good. That's very good.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So you have other programs such as business coaching and consulting, and also you made mention of already holistic wellness and other kind of programs that you have. Can you introduce me to all your programs and tell me what they're about?
Yeah, I have a couple. So some of the online programs, I have one called Body Reset, which is a really great way to just reset your body. It's a 30-day program, lots of great recipes and tools on how to make changes in your diet. I have the Address program that I was telling you about. So to reset the body and to give you that roadmap.
Yes.
I also have a program called Rewrite Your Reality. And that's more of the energetic, emotional, and spiritual side of really shifting your life and healing from the inside out. And then in the business side of things, I work with other practitioners, coaches, nutritionists, naturopaths, or anybody that's really looking to help people in their healing journey. I help them build their businesses online or in person, and really help them get clear on who they're serving, how they're serving, helping them build their signature program and share their messages with the world so that they can really thrive in their life and business while helping other people thrive in their lives as well.
Yes, amazing. And talking about rewriting your reality, how can I rewrite my reality, especially right now in this situation? How can I rewrite this reality that I have?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing I would say is to get really clear on what you desire. Like dream big, visioning and dreaming and mind mapping. I like to call it like dreaming up your real life, but better. If you were God and you were the God of your life and you could build your life, how would it be? And get really clear on that. And then from there, I would say the process of reverse engineering it. Be like, okay, well, what are the steps that I need to do? What are the little benchmark goals? Who do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? And just doing it. It's really about seeing where you can make 1% change today. What's one thing I can do? How am I going to just maybe cut out adding sugar to my coffee and maybe add maple syrup instead? Tomorrow, how am I going to eat more vegetables? The next day, how am I going to go for a walk today? The next day, okay, I'm going to start researching how to make money on the side, and really just mapping it all out and then taking the consistent aligned action every day, just 1%. And over time, you'll see how your entire reality is shifting by you being consistent in showing up for the dream that you have for yourself.
Yes, yeah. I think you've answered my next question already, because I was having this question in mind to ask you that how can I live a much more purposeful life? Or you made mention of some tips already of how to live a purposeful life. Are there like maybe other things you love to add to it? How can I turn my visions into reality? How can I despite the fact that there are difficulties, there are challenges, there are blockages on the way, how can I still make something out of my dreams and my visions?
Yeah. So to the question of how to live a purposeful life, the thing that's fun about purpose is same as meaning. We get to create, we get to decide what the meaning is, and we get to decide what the purpose is. And so whatever the purpose gets to be for you, I would say, for some people it's to be happy. For some people it's to make a difference in the world. For some people it's to change the healthcare industry. For some people it's to just show up and love, or to build a legacy or to build a family. And so I would say experimenting and taking the time and space to get to know what you choose as your purpose right
Mm.
now, because that might change. It will probably change and transform.
Yeah.
But asking yourself, what would excite me?
Mm.
What would interest me right now?
Mm.
What would feel fun and fulfilling? And
Mm.
then how can I dedicate my life and my days and my time to allocating it to the things that bring me fulfillment and joy and that make my life and the lives of the people around me better?
Mm.
And when you commit to doing something bigger than yourself, you commit to making a difference or to sharing or to helping or to revolutionizing. When it's about something bigger than you, the feeling of fulfillment and
Mm.
passion that fuels through you is, it really moves you. And so life isn't so much about efforting anymore. It's not so much about making it work. It's about letting God or letting universe or source just move you and move through you so
Mm.
that you're really doing your divine calling. And what I find is that when you tap into what it is that you want to do and you start taking action, the universe supports you and it puts the right people in your path. It puts the right opportunity in your path. Money kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Mm.
Opportunities come. And it
Mm.
really takes just you aligning your mind and your mindset with your goals and your vision and your daily action.
Wow, this is so awesome. This is great. I mean, I've heard this before, but you saying it again made me really reflect on it. I have to make sure that my dreams and vision are big, huge. My purpose has to be huge, and I have to align myself to to the universe, to God, and everything will come into place. No matter what the circumstance might be, everything will just work out. The right people will come, the money will come, everything will just work out fine by God's grace.
It does. It absolutely does. There's no logical way for me to explain some of the miracles that have happened. There's no
Mm.
logical way that I get a phone call one day to go and move out to California to live in a mansion and run a retreat center. There's
Mm.
no logical way I could have planned that, but I knew I want to run events. I want to help people transform. A week later, I get the phone call, right? And the people that pop up, the people that we get to meet all the time, it's so amazing. And you have to be open to it, right? Because
Mm.
if you walk through life with your head down, your eyes closed, your heart closed, well, the law of attraction, you're not open and asking to receive. And if you're not open and asking, well, you're not going to be able to receive. And so it's really about having this vision and then aligning your energy and yourself to the vision. So say you want abundance, okay? You want financial abundance to come through, but you're constantly complaining about money. You're
Mm.
constantly worried about money. You're constantly stressed.
Mm.
That energy does not match the energy of abundance. And
Mm.
so what you want to do if you want to bring in abundance, even if you have not even a dollar or a euro, what you can do is do the things that make you feel abundant. So go out into nature, hug a loved one, recognize that we have a phone and a TV and a computer, and that is so abundant, and putting yourself in the vibration of what you want to attract so that the law of attraction can work through you and you can attract more of what it is that you're desiring.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. And we're attracting money, we're attracting prosperity, we're attracting good health, we're attracting abundance, we're attracting all the great things of life.
And that kind of ties back to the food and the sleep and the nervous system. If we're constantly stuffing ourselves with unhealthy food,
Mm.
what are we saying? I'm a garbage can,
Mm.
right? If we eat junk and we eat trash, that means
Yeah.
that we're a garbage can.
Yeah.
But if we're not sleeping and we're stressing ourselves, it means that we're not worthy of our own love because we're not treating ourselves right.
Mm.
So if we keep sending that message to the universe, what's the universe going to send us? More ways to feel that we're not worthy and that we feel like trash, more pain, more suffering. But if we start to treat our bodies well, we sleep well, we have our practice of meditation, yoga, dance, martial arts, exercise, whatever it is, we start to do good in the world, we compliment people, we give our time and our attention, our energy, we create podcasts, we do whatever, then we're opening up and the universe can meet us. So it's all about the things that you do on the micro in your daily life that really make a huge difference.
Amazing. Oh, this is so amazing. That's great. That's very great. So, can you quickly give me some tips on how to turn my passion into a successful business? You have the program that does that. So, can you give me like some quick tips?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing is asking yourself if the market wants it. Is this something that people need? Is it something that people need and they want? Because if you want to make this product or you want to make this business that nobody else in the world wants, well, it doesn't matter how much you love and you want to make it, you're making it for you. When you're just making it for you, you have a smaller likelihood of really succeeding. But if you ask people and you look out and say, what do people need and want right now? And you can meet a need. Well, I would say, know who your audience is, know what your market is, build something, create something that they would want, and then put it out there in front of them. So learn about marketing. Instagram's a great way. Your podcast is a great way. Blogging about it, just getting your product or your service out there and showing up. Add value. If it's a service or coaching program or something like that, add value, entertain, make connections with people, partnerships, collaborations, and just always keep going. Never give up. The only way that you're going to fail is if you give up. But when you keep going and you learn and you maybe it didn't work out so well this way, but you're going to make some shifts and try it a little bit again and continue, you will succeed. Success is inevitable. You just have to go through the process. And yes, doing a business course can be helpful, or getting a mentor, because it is a step-by-step process. Yeah. But essentially, just really giving yourself permission to put yourself and your passions out there. Because so many people are so afraid to fail that they never even try. Right? So get clear on what you want to do, and then ask who else is doing it so I can model after them. Not copy them, but if anyone else in the world is doing what you want to do, look at what they've done and recreate it to make it your own. And it'll always work out one way or another.
And I'm sure to get much more detailed tips about this, or to get coaching from you, we could always reach out to you, and you could, give us one of these programs or sign up for your programs. So can you tell us where we could stay connected with you on, and where to learn from you, and how can we work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can connect with me on Instagram at Samantha_Lotus, or you can go to my website at www.samanthalotus.com and then go to the Work With Me tab. You can learn about my programs, my offerings, and you can apply to work with me.
Just from reading the content on the blog, before even clicking on Work With Me at all, I mean, you could learn a lot already. So I would advise or admonish everyone to, check out the blog, and copy the link from the show notes, and follow Samantha on Instagram also to get a daily dose of inspiration and beautiful pictures, by the way.
Thank you so much. The last thing I really want to say, the only thing that's super important, I think it's for everyone to remember that you matter. You matter, your life matters, you're important, your dreams are important, and to just trust that, to really trust that, to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself and you develop that confidence, that shines to the world, and that is what people are attracted to, and that is what really creates success. And so just trust that you are worthy, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're deserving, and that you're important, and you have a gift to share to the world.
I'm not going to say anything in addition to that. That's just perfect. That's a perfect ending for this podcast. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate everything I've been able to learn from you today. And I wish you greatness, I wish you abundance and all the happiness that you ever wish for.
Same to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I am eternally grateful for your time, your love, and contributions. You mean a lot to me. Thank you once again for listening and sharing with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe and follow this journey on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms in the description. Stay blessed.